All right, let's dive into something truly incredible. We're talking about the Tabook expedition. Now, this wasn't just some military march through the desert. Oh no, this was a journey that became a profound test of faith, one that really peeled back the layers of the human heart. So picture this, an entire army trekking through the brutal Arabian desert. What makes this journey so fascinating is how it throws sincere belief and, well, hidden hypocrisy into sharp relief. And it all kicks off with this really chilling encounter in a land that was, quite literally, cursed. So you have to ask yourself, right? What can these events from so long ago really teach us today about things like sincerity, doubt, and even divine power? That's exactly what we're going to do. Let's unpack the most critical moments of this expedition and see what we can find.
Okay, first up, a lesson from some ancient ruins. The army is pushing through the desert, and they come across this place. Al-Hijr. These are the eerie, ancient remains of the people of Thamood, a nation that was destroyed for its pride.
So the soldiers, they're exhausted. They're beyond thirsty. They find these wells, and it's like a miracle. They immediately start drinking the water, using it to make dough for bread. But when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, finds out, everything changes. He issues a series of commands that are both urgent and incredibly serious.
He tells them, spill all the water, feed that dough you just made to the camels, and get through this area as fast as you can. Do not linger here. Now, you can feel the weight of these commands, right? This wasn't about the water being physically bad, it was about spiritual danger. It was a lesson in how you're supposed to act when you're in a place that has felt God's wrath. He tells them, and this is so powerful, do not enter the homes of those who had wronged their own selves unless you go inside crying. It's a precaution, he says, so you don't get afflicted with what they were afflicted with. Wow. So the message is crystal clear. These places aren't tourist attractions. They are sites for deep, solemn reflection, for feeling a sense of awe and fear and remembering the consequences of turning away from God.
But in the middle of all this hardship, these eerie ruins, we get these moments of just incredible spiritual beauty. These moments really show you what this community truly valued. It's the story of an honored martyr, buried by torchlight. So in the dead of night, one of the companions passes away. His name was Abdullah Dhil-Bajadain, and this man had literally given up everything he owned for his faith. He was so poor he basically had nothing, no status, no wealth. But the honor he received in his death, well, it was something else. Imagine this. In the flickering light of a single torch, who is it that climbs down into the grave? It's the prophet himself. He is personally preparing the resting place for this humble man, and then he offers this incredibly powerful personal prayer for him. And as he lays him to rest, he says, O Allah, I am this night pleased with him, so be pleased with him as well. Can you imagine that personal testimony from the prophet? That was the ultimate honor. It was worth more than all the gold in the world.
And another companion, Ibn Mas'ud, witnessing this, just says, oh, I wish I was the one in that grave. Now, this is a really key lesson. The only kind of envy that's okay in Islam isn't for money or status, it's for someone's faith, for their closeness to God. He wasn't jealous, he was just deeply inspired, wishing for that same beautiful end.
Okay, so the journey continues, and the desert starts to really squeeze them. The army is facing the most basic, terrifying fear you can have out there, running out of water. But it's right here, in this moment of pure desperation, that things get miraculous. Just look at the difference here. The army's reality? Extreme thirst. A totally barren valley, not a drop of water in sight. And the divine response? A single rain cloud appears out of thin air. A tiny spring suddenly bursts forth with enough water for everyone. It's an absolute game changer. And it wasn't just about that one moment. The prophet actually made a prophecy to his companion Mu'ad about that very spring. He said, O Mu'ad, a time is coming when you will see this place filled with gardens. And guess what? It came true. Tabook eventually became famous for its incredible vegetation, a living, breathing miracle that proved the truth of his words. But it wasn't all miracles and moments of pure faith. There was something else moving through the army, something much darker. This is where we get to the danger of mockery and the whispers of the hypocrites. So you have these people hidden among the believers, and they start mocking them. They're saying things like, Look at our Quran reciters. All they care about is food. They're the biggest liars, and they're the biggest cowards when it's time to fight. They were aiming their insults right at the most devout people, and it just showed the sickness they were hiding in their hearts.
Well, when they get called out on it, what's their defense? Hey, come on, we were just joking, just talking, passing the time. They try to play it off like it was no big deal, just harmless fun. But then, a revelation comes straight from God, and it exposes their joke for what it really was. The verse that was revealed is just devastatingly clear. Say, was it at Allah and his revelations and his messenger that you were mocking? Make no excuse, you have disbelieved after you had believed. There it is. The Quran itself says that their so-called jokes were an act of disbelief that completely erased their faith. So this moment sets a really important precedent. It defines an act of disbelief, or kufr, as including mocking Allah, his revelations, or his messenger. It shows that this kind of mockery is absolutely not a trivial thing. It's a red line.
And if you think mockery was bad, it gets worse. This is where the hypocrisy goes from just whispers and insults to a full-blown assassination attempt.
12. That's the number of masked riders who ambush the prophet in a narrow mountain pass. Their plan? To startle his camel and push him off a cliff in the dark. I mean, this is the ultimate betrayal. But their plot completely failed.
So when you look back, you see that this entire journey was the ultimate test, wasn't it? It was like a giant filter. It separated the sincere believers from those whose hearts were just full of doubt and disease. Every single trial, the ruins, the burial, the thirst, the plots, it all served to show what was really inside each person.
And that brings us to the ultimate lesson, found in the prophet's words, "He who meets Allah with the testimony of faith without doubt will not be kept from paradise." That's what this whole expedition boils down to. It teaches us that sincere faith, a faith free from doubt, is the key. And that's a lesson that's just as powerful today as it was in the deserts of Tabook.